So this slide shows what we're going to be looking at for the module 1, which is Introduction to AI and its content. So to set the stage, start going, I'm going to start by this question. All right. What comes to your mind when you hear AI? Or what do you know about AI? And we're going to be starting that with an icebreaker, which is basically what comes to your mind. So if you can just scan that QR code or on your browser, just use the slido.com and put in that number. And let's participate in this quick pool. Okay. What do you understand by AI? What comes to your mind when you hear AI? So you should have this. What comes to your mind when you hear the word AI? What comes to your mind? That's the question. So let's have your comments. I want to hear what your thoughts are. Uh, Let me just refresh this so that we can start seeing the response. Okay, so what comes to your mind when you hear AI? All right, so you can just scan that QR code or you use slido.com and let me hear your thoughts. I can see a couple of people typing already. What do you understand? Okay, good. Here they are. They have started coming in. So someone said chat robots, robotic, computer intelligence. Let's hear more. Let's hear more. What comes to your mind when you usage of intelligence without human effort? Okay, that's also correct. Yes. Any other response from people? There are quite a number of us in this virtual class. I think I can see close to 200. So yeah, machine learning, efficiency, automation, Siri, not human. Beautiful. Digital assistants. I love that. Quite a number of people are saying digital assistant. I love that. Super fast thinking, chat GPT. What do we have there again? Let's continue to have it coming. Now, all of this, everything that everybody is saying, yeah, artificial intelligence, machine learning, automation, all these falls under AI in general. Okay, so whatever, yeah, brain enhancer, making work easier, mimicking human intelligence, beautiful. Someone even said helper of life, fantastic. All right, so let me go back to the slide. So everything that everybody has been saying or your comments so far, they are absolutely correct. Now, all those actually fall under AI. Okay, so in general, AI is when machine do tasks that normally will require human intelligence. Okay, so and excellent. I like all the comments that were coming from people. So now let me share a simple definition to get us all on the same page. Okay, artificial intelligence refers to machines or systems designed to mimic human cognition. So, in other words, systems that can learn from data, understand language, recognize patterns, and make decisions. Okay, so in simple terms, AI is when computer acts intelligently, learning from experience or performing tasks that we usually associate with human thinking. So it's like understanding natural language or solving problems. Now, one thing that I want us to note throughout this training, we are going to explore both sides of AI. AI can disrupt the traditional ways we work, and at the same time, it can also enable new possibilities. So we'll keep this session interactive as we just started with, and that's the pace by which you're going to do this. All right. And if I can also mention the live poll that we just participated in, that is exactly AI in action. That pulling itself is powered by AI. That pulling that we just saw now is actually powered by AI. and that's AI algorithm analyzing responses in real time. Okay, so that should drive home better what AI is all about. Now that we have a baseline understanding of what AI is, I want us to step back and actually look at how did we get here. Okay, AI didn't just appear overnight; it's been evolving for decades. So, how did AI develop into what it is today? So, to understand where AI is today, it's going to help us to know a little bit of the history. And AI has evolved over several distinct eras. So this slide is illustrating a timeline from the 1950s to the 2020s. So let us just look at the major timelines. All right. The birth of AI, that's back in 1950, when pioneers like Alan Turing, they were asking fundamental questions like, can machine think? And that was in 1950 when he had proposed the Turing test as a way to measure machine intelligence. And then a few years down the line, exactly 1956, the thing, artificial intelligence, actually came. And it was actually coined at a famous academic conference at Dartmouth College. So these were actually the first steps that planted the idea that machine could potentially mimic human thoughts or processes. And then in the 1970s came the AI winter and revival. That was the first time AI hit its first major roadblock. Progress was a lot slower than in the initial hype. Okay. And then funding and, of course, the interest also dried up. It was popularly a period called AI winter. But then again, after a couple of years in 1960s, I mean in the 1980s, AI experienced something like a mini revival with the rise of expert system coming up again. So essentially, it was a time when AI went from boom to bust and then back again to boom. So all this happened in the 80s. So if you fast forward this now to the 1990s and the 2000s, the millennium, that's the machine learning era. AI got a huge boost, and it was thanks to the increasing number of computing power and explosion of data generally. So AI started to become a part of everyday technology. That's when we started having the Apple series AI voice assistant, which came out in the year 2011. And then Google also came up with the Google Translator. So AI was steadily becoming more practical and it was visible in daily life. Now, if you come to the 2020s, in which we are now, then we talk about the generative AI revolution, and that's the game changer of this decade. I mean, generative AI has been the game changer. So we've seen the emergence of large-scale AI models like the Open AI, the GPT-3, the GPT-4, which is powered by ChatGPT, and now currently has been upgraded again to the GPT-5. So these are AI that can generate human-like text. AI is suddenly a household topic and is now embedded in everyday products and services, from smart email assistants to generation apps and so many of it. So along with this excitement, there came some growing concern. And some of these are things that we're going to hear about later in the AI ethics. And the concerns were ethics of AI, bias, and there was now a call for regulation. But overall, the 2020s are defined by AI moving from the traditional research lab and into the mainstream consumer world. So in just a few decades, we went from very primitive program to AIs that can write essay, create ads, even drive car, and do a lot of fascinating things. Okay, so now that we've seen a little background of how AI evolved over time, let's clarify some of the key concepts that we'll be referring to. So I'm sure you've probably heard about things like machine learning, natural language processing, or generative AI. So for us to understand this will make sense of some of the examples and trends we will talk about in the next module. So on this slide, we have three fundamental AI concepts. All right. So I want us to think of this as the building blocks of many modern AI applications. I will introduce each one of them to you using very simple example so that we can really understand. Now, the first one, machine learning. Now, machine learning, I mean, it could be called ML, is an approach to AI where we don't explicitly program the computer with rigid rules. Okay. So instead, the system learns from data and experience. In machine learning, we feed algorithms lots of example data, and then the algorithm adjusts themselves to improve a task. And over time, with more data, the model gets better at prediction on its own. So, in short, machine learning is what allows computers to improve their performance as they get more examples. It's like learning by practice rather than giving explicit instruction. A very good example is if you notice your emails spam filter catching most junk mails. Now, that is machine learning at work. So, in the research context, ML can be used to analyze a huge data set from a field experiment collection, for example, and then sorting through it to find patterns or anomalies without telling it exactly what to look for. That is machine learning. Now, the second one is natural language processing, NLP. NLP is a subfield of artificial intelligence that enables computers to understand and generate human language, both text and speech. Now, this is the technology behind any system that deals with language from voice assistants to translation apps. So essentially, natural language processing, NLP, allows AI to interpret the word we speak or write, and even to produce language that sounds natural. This includes tasks like speech recognition, what like when you talk to your phone and it transcribes what you say, like language translation, the Google translators turning Spanish to English, stuff like that. And then also sentiment analysis, figuring out if a tweet is positive or negative, as well as powering chatbots. So all these are examples of natural language processing AIs. So when you type a question into an online chat support chat, and then an automated system responds to you helpfully, that is NLP in action. Okay. Now the third one is generative AI. I mean, this is probably the hottest term in AI right now. So generative AI refers to systems that can create new content, whether it is text, image, or whatever it is. And that's often hard to distinguish from something human might produce. So instead of just analyzing data or predicting a yes and no, a generative AI actually generates original material. And then how does it do that? It learns from a huge amount of example data. Say, for instance, millions of images, or like in the case of ChatGPT, billions of lines of text. And then it's now going to use that knowledge to create something new that follows the patterns that it has learned. So, a very good example, okay? ChatGPT, OpenAI ChatGPT can write an essay or answer a complex question in full paragraph because it was actually trained on countless texts and learned from how to compose sentences that make sense. An AI model can also create multiple images into a definite creative one. So this generative capability is behind the recent wave of creative AI tools. But then it also raised some very new, I mean, some new questions about authorship and then authenticity. So if an AI writes an article, for example, who do we say is the author? And how do we even ensure the content it's not plagiarized or has some level of bias? These are some of the things that we'll touch on in the later modules. But again, for now, I want us to quickly do a quick quiz. And this time around is a question. So you either go again to Slido or you use that QR code, and then we do the next quiz. And that's the question. Which of the following is not a natural language processing? Is it a voice assistant like Siri that answer your question? Or is it B, a computer vision system that clarify images of cats versus dog? Or is it C, a chatbot that provides answer to HR question. The question again is, which of the following is not an example of natural language processing? Let us keep coming. Your answers, let it keep coming. Let it keep coming. Which of the following is not an example of natural language processing? Is it a system that clarifies images of cat and dog, or a voice assistant like Siri? Or is it a chatbot that answers HR question? Okay, let me review the answer. All right, the correct answer is actually A, an image classification system that distinguishes cat from dog. That is actually dealing with pictures, not language. So that is a part of generative AI. Remember, natural language processing is all about text and voice. So option B, the option of assistant, a voice assistant like Siri, or a chatbot that answer HR question is actually not the correct answer. Okay, but I'm glad that there were a lot of people that got this right, and even if you did not, I mean, now you know better. Okay, and that's the most important thing. The getting to know better. That's the most important thing. So now that we've done that short quiz, there is a short video that I would want us to watch briefly. It's a short video clip to show you what AI can do in practice. This video will illustrate some of the AI applications I just talked about now. So you will see examples of AI system in action, some very cool demonstration of generative AI. It's quick, but it's fun, and that brings the concept of what I've actually been talking about. Okay, so let's quickly watch this video.
In this video, see if you can figure out what's real and what's AI. I'm doing wagons again. Is this wagon real? No, it's AI. Is this bridge real? No, it's AI. Which one's real, the tree or the wagon? The tree. Are these a bunch of AI chickens at this chicken coop? They are AI chickens. And it's an AI chicken coop, so it would make sense. Is this wagon real? Is that real? It's real. This lamppost? It's real. Look, there's an AI dog. What about this wagon? It's real. Is this bridge real? Or is it AI? It's real. But I added an AI stream.
Okay, all right. Thank you for that. I mean, isn't it fascinating from what we've just watched now? So it's becoming really, really difficult for you to even tell between what is original and what is not original. And those are some of the things that we will be learning, and we'll see how this is in the trainings that we've had line up for us. So for me to quickly do a recap, the key concept that I just introduced us to, which is very key, machine learning. That is how AI learn patterns from data. Say, for instance, learning to filter spam emails from the example I gave. And then natural language processing, NLP. That is how AI understands and generates language, like the virtual assistant or the translation tools. Okay. And then the generative AI is how AI creates new content, like writing an essay or generating image from a prompt. We're going to learn more about all those prompting and all that in the later module. So now that we have this fundamentals, so let us look at what is happening today in the world of AI. What are the current emerging trends? That was one of the reasons why I showed us that video. And how is AI being used in research and in service industries like ours right now? So essentially, what is the state of AI and what does it mean for us in our working environment? So this section is a big picture view of how AI is spreading and evolving today, especially in the areas that are relevant to us as an institute, for example. There's a lot on this slide, so I'm going to break it down into a few key trends area. Okay. Now, Global AI adoption is accelerating. In the last few years, AI has really gone mainstream. It's not just about the tech companies using AI now, it is everywhere. Finance, healthcare, entertainment, agriculture, education, you just name it. It's everywhere. Now, the key thing there is the widespread adoption and the ease of use of AI, meaning that AI tools are becoming easier for anyone to use, not just computer scientists or the computer gurus. You don't need to know how to code to apply AI in your job. There are user friendly apps and no code AI platform. All right. Now, with AI's rapid growth, there is a lot of concern about doing it responsibly. We're going to talk about that much later on. So globally, there is a strong force now on AI ethics, bias, and regulation. The issues being tackled include data privacy. Are we really protecting personal data when AI systems learn from it? Then transparency. Do we know how AI makes its decision, or is it just a black box? And then fairness. Is the AI treating all groups of people fairly, or is it biased? So, one big trend that is alongside the AI boom, there is also a parallel push to regulate AI and ensure it is used responsibly. We're going to delve more into these in later models, but I want us to keep it in mind. Every exciting AI application might come with ethical questions that need answering. So allow me now to zoom in AI research and development first before I come back to service industry. AI is becoming a powerful assistant in our laboratories and studies. Researchers are using AI to handle tasks that would impossibly, before it was impossibly time consuming. Say, for example, AI algorithm can analyze millions of DNA sequence or medical images to find patterns that might lead to a discovery. In many fields also, AI can sort through massive data sets, let's say data set like climate data records, and AI can highlight interesting findings much faster than any team of humans. So AI can help write or summarize even research papers now. There are tools that can ingest thousands of publications and give you the key takeaways, which helps scientists stay on top of the literature. So now to AI in service industry and administrative functions. Beyond the lab, let's think all about the support functions and services that keep our institutes running, for example, administration, customer service, HR, finance, technical support, and all the likes. AI is transforming those areas too. A clear example is customer service, for example. Many organizations now use AI powered chatbots to handle routine inquiries from customers internally and from their staff. Now, here at IITA, the communication unit and IT has been exploring a chatbot on our intranet to answer common administrative related questions to staff. So staff can get quick answer 24/7. We're going to launch that soon. So you guys might want to look out for that. Now, in fields like insurance, finance, or banking, AI system can detect fraud by spotting unusual patterns in transaction data. That gives a sense of how impactful AI has been now. Organizations are saving time and money by letting AI handle the repetitive stuff, while human now focus on the more complex tasks. So the future outlook is human in collaboration with AI, human and AI together. So looking ahead, a key idea many experts emphasize is that AI will augment human rather than outrightly replacing us in most jobs. The likely scenario is that AI is going to take over those mundane, repetitive tasks and free us up to focus on, higher level, creative, and those interpersonal work that human excels at. New jobs roles are also going to emerge. You should start hearing things like maybe AI coordinator, machine learning engineer, or prompt engineer, or AI ethics officer, for example. Those are becoming common now. Now, which reflect how the workplace is adapting. There are new AIs now that help build other AI. That's something that is called automated machine learning, auto ML, where AI automatically try out different model designs and training strategies to create the best model with minimal human intelligence. And then also we have the edge AI that's also growing. So what is that? More AI functions now running locally on devices or even on your phone, which is good for privacy and speed. What that means is that your data doesn't always need to be sent to the cloud. Now, the big takeaway is that AI's role in organization will continue to expand. For our institution, that means that we need to prepare. And one of the things that we need to do is training staff, like what we're doing right now, updating also our tech infrastructure and creating culture that is AI ready, but also should be ethically mindful. I mean, we'll revisit this some of those things in the future out. I mean, we'll talk more about future outlook in the final module, but it's something that I want us to keep in mind now, how we can position ourselves to work effectively with AI as it evolves. All right. Now that we've learned this, before we move on, I want to do a quick check with everyone. So if you can do this exercise for me on the chat now, on a scale of 1 to 5, okay? If you can do that on the chat, on a scale of 1 to 5, how familiar do you now feel with the basic of AI? Okay, how familiar do you feel on that? I want to hear people's comments on chat. So 1 meaning lowest, and 5 is I'm very comfortable. 1 mean I'm still very confused, and then 5 is I'm comfortable. I think I'm seeing a lot of 4, a lot of 4. Yeah, that's great. That's great. And I'm also seeing a couple of threes. Yeah, perhaps that is also okay too. Man, that's the old lessons. We'll keep reinforcing those ideas. We'll keep, and if there's anybody that is on 2 or 1, it is also okay. I will try to keep clarifying this thing. The major goal is for everyone to feel that at least somewhere more confident about this AI fundamentals. We need to get this AI fundamentals right first. And as we go on, I want to believe that you'll start feeling familiar with them, and then we can move on very well. Okay. Now, before we jump to module 2, I would like us to do a quick recap of what we've learned so far in module 1. Uh, if I can have somebody to do a quick recap for me. Ola, do you mind running us through this? Just to do a quick recap of module 1 for us.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that clear and insightful introduction. You have laid a strong foundation for understanding artificial intelligence. Thank you so much, sir. So, as we have learned, AI has progressed through distinct eras from the early rule-based programs of the 1950s to 1960s, navigating to the highs and the lows of the 1970s to 1990s to today, that is data driven, deep learning, and also generative AI. So every era laid the foundation for the next. And the 2020, which we are into now, has marked the era of generative AI, which tools like ChatGPT driving AI into a wide spread global adoption. So another thing is that core concepts in AI, including machine learning, the NLP, which you talked about, that is the natural language processing, and also the generative AI. This serves as the foundation for modern application when it comes to AI. So, for example, machine learning, which you talked about, allows computer to learn from data, and also it improves over time. That is machine learning. And for NLP, it enables computer to understand and also generate human language. So that is for NLP. And also you made mention of generative AI that gives machine the ability to create new content. So by learning on these core concepts, we gain insight into how AI systems, applications work, and the possibilities and values they can deliver. So another thing I also pick is that AI is transforming both research and the service industry. In research now, AI accelerate data analysis and discovery, and tasks that might take, humans months can sometimes be achieved in days, even in seconds, even in hours. So with introduction of AI, so example in service and administrative functions, AI powers things like chatbots, especially for customer service or customer support. In HR and finance, AI aids smart scheduling analysis and also helps in personalizing users' experience. So generally, sir, for me, this is improving efficiency and also allow staff, we staff to focus on higher value work. And lastly, also, which you also made mention, is the ethics, the accessibility, and also the readiness are now central to AI discussion. So, with AI rapid growth comes concern about bias. This is very germane, important. It comes about transparency and also accountability. So, this has led to efforts being pushed by the EU proposing an AI regulations and many organizations, including IITA, to consider the ethical guidelines to this. So this is also very important too. So at the same time, all tools are more accessible than ever, which means that we organization, we need to prepare our people in terms of policies for widespread of human AI and also collaboration. So upgrading employee skills and ensuring that our institution is ready for AI is key part of harnessing what AI provides to us as an organization. So in all this, I think you have laid a very strong foundation, and personally, I look forward to the next module on what AI has got to provide for me and organization as a whole. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, Shola. Great. Those were the key take-home points for this introduction. So keep them in mind because they set the stage for everything else that we're going to be talking about. And that is it. That wraps us Module 1. And congratulations if you've just completed Introduction to AI now. So if you still have any lingering question about these basics, you can drop them in the chat and we'll address them as we go. So next is Module 2, where we'll be talking about AI as disruptor. We'll explore how AI can shake up our traditional ways of working more deeper. And then what new challenges? What are the new challenges that it brings? Okay. So if you're ready, I would say let's go to Module 2.